camera, but hey, I got it up. I'm streaming it via mobile tonight. Streaming on my phone tonight for this one. But yes, it is Instagram. It's kind of a new era a little bit. But let's start off with last week. Let's recap first with the college football picks. Let's start off with it. It all started with Virginia Tech. Let's get started right with my Virginia Tech Hokies. What happened? It was a back and forth game with the number 7th ranked team in the country, Miami. Virginia Tech almost pulled the upset. Virginia Tech had a 10-point lead, but kind of blew it. But yes, we kind of blew it, but at the same time, we got screwed by the officials. Let's take you through it. Miami had the lead with under a minute. It was like, came down to the very last play. It was a Hail Mary attempt by Kyron Drones, Virginia Tech's quarterback. He throws it. Ref thought Miami had it, but it was a catch for, felt at the moment he called a touchdown. They reviewed it once, and they said it was confirmed a touchdown. Then they looked at it again. The AC Command Center was there, and they overturned it. Yeah, I can't talk about too. But yeah, so that's what happened. Virginia Tech pretty much got robbed by the number 7 team in the nation. So hey, Miami still got a good quarterback on, but still, Virginia Tech basically lost the rest. That's my theory. I don't care if I sound biased, but that is what a lot of fans in college football are saying. What happened this past Friday night? So yeah, that is what happened. Virginia Tech is 2-3. Miami remains undefeated. I lost that pick, and Instigator Mick did not do well in these college football picks. So let's move on to the only noon game I put from last week. Kentucky and Ole Miss. I had Ole Miss winning, but Kentucky pulled the upset off, so I lost to Max in that one. I started 0-2. Then the USC-Wisconsin game I got right. So USC dominated, which I figured. They're going to beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin played pretty good the first half, but then USC pulled away late in the game. And obviously, pulled off the win. Somehow they pulled away late in the second half to win. So congrats to them, obviously, on the win. So that's what happened in that one. So USC got the win. Next, what happened was another thing happened. I think it was another 3:30 game. It was Duke. Let's talk about Duke right now. Let's talk about that Duke-Carolina game. Duke, obviously, was down by a lot against Carolina, but came all the way back to win. Yes, they came all the way back to win. It came back to beat Carolina. So Carolina, rough start, losing a lot of quarterbacks. Also, first of all, gave up 70 points just a couple weeks ago to James Madison. Now losing to their rivals, blowing a 13-point lead against their biggest rival in Duke. Tough break. That is really a tough break. By them for sure. No doubt it was. It's up here. So that matchup happened. And, I had Louisville winning, but I lost that one too. It's not been my week. I've lost. I went 5-7, so I'll make sure I'm going to have a better week. I'll talk about my new picks later on. So we'll get into that a little bit. So Louisville, almost came back, but Notre Dame prevailed and got the win over Louisville. So despite Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois, they look pretty good, I'll say. They've turned it around, I think, a bit. Yes, sir. Go Bills. We'll talk about it later. So that happened. Oklahoma and Auburn. It came down to the wire. I thought Auburn was going to pull the upset off, but Oklahoma found a way to win in a tough environment like Auburn. So a tough road test, and they got it done. So good for them. They got the win there. And I lost that one too. I had Auburn. Next was Texas A&M and Arkansas. I thought Arkansas was going to win. It came down to the end too, but Texas A&M prevailed. So a lot of these games have been close. We've been talking about so far. A lot of close games we've seen over the weekend in college football. So that happened. So let's move on to the more 3:30 game. So that's what happened. Texas, Mississippi State We thought for sure Mississippi State was going to, they kept it close for a while, but Texas pulled away late in the second half, so I had Texas winning that one, so I got that pick right. Yes, that happened. So that happened here. Texas, obviously. Next, UCF and Colorado. I thought UCF was going to win. I really picked them. And then, boy, did Colorado look good. Yeah, Colorado looked pretty good, though. They proved me wrong over UCF. Winning in a tough environment like they're like in Orlando, they won that one. So, that happened. Let's move on to the probably like the one of the. They dominated Michigan State and got the win. So that happened. So they looked pretty good in that one. In Michigan State. So Ohio State remains undefeated. We'll talk about them in a little bit, like their next game. But yeah, Ohio State still remains undefeated. Only held Michigan State to only 7 points. Only held them to a touchdown. That's about it. Ohio State looks pretty good so far. So, they have yet to be still tested, though, against a team that's similar to them. So we'll see what happens next with Ohio State. Next, Penn State was tested against Illinois. I had that pick right as well. So Penn State found a way to beat Illinois. You know, the thing is, it was in Penn State, but still, Illinois is a tough team. But they rolled late in the second half. Penn State remains unbeaten as well. So they were definitely testing their conference game here. They were testing. They got the win. So that was another happened. Of course, let's talk about the biggest game that happened in college football. The Georgia-Alabama game. Didn't disappoint at all. We thought at first, oh God, Alabama was going to run away with it. They were up 30-7 at one point. Georgia came all the way back and even had a lead, but Alabama, like Jalen Milroe, there was a 70-yard touchdown pass pretty much to put the game away. I mean, got the lead back and won. So, heartbreaker for Georgia. Came all the way back, had a lead. All that for just a heartbreaking loss. I feel for Alabama. Maybe feel for Georgia, another heartbreaking loss. So, yeah, Alabama comes back and wins. Still, Alabama still found a way to win despite blowing a big lead. So, give it up for Alabama. They proved me wrong there, but I just feel for Georgia. 2 heartbreaking losses to Alabama 2 years in a row. That is your recap from Week 5 of college football. Let's get on to Week 6 picks, shall we? Let's begin with Friday night's game at 9 o'clock. It is Michigan State and Oregon. This is in Oregon, 9 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. This is Friday Night Fox game here. So I'm definitely going to take Oregon in this one. I like the Oregon Ducks. They look pretty good so far. I mean, they look slow at the beginning, but they're getting back to normal form. So I like the Ducks big time over Michigan State. Much I like to see Michigan State make it competitive, but Oregon looks pretty tough. So give me the Oregon Ducks in this one. Next, move on to the noon slate on Saturday. It is UCLA and Penn State. This is a big noon Saturday game on Fox. This is in Happy Valley. Interesting matchup here. But I like the Nittany Lions. I really do. I think Nittany Lions are going to prevail. They're going to beat UCLA. So give me Penn State in this one. At North Carolina on ESPN2. So Pitt will play North Carolina. Pitt is undefeated. They have yet to lose a game. So Pitt's undefeated. They're 4-0. This is their first conference game going into Chapel Hill against Carolina. Carolina do I like Carolina this one? Absolutely. I think Pitt is due for a loss. The Pitt Panthers are due for a loss. So give me the Tar Heels. I like them in this one. Tar Heels are going to win and get revenge after the Duke loss. I like the Tar Heels in this one. Missouri, Texas A&M. This is an SEC ranked matchup here. So Missouri goes in a tough and hostile environment like College Station, Texas, and Texas A&M. They call it the 12th man. Does Missouri avoid an upset? Because Missouri is a top 10 team, while Texas A&M is number 24 in the top 20. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Missouri. I think Missouri barely escapes Texas A&M. I like Missouri. Eventually lose some games along the way late in the season, but right now I think they'll win against at least the Aggies in this one. So I like Mizzou. Even though I didn't learn my lesson from last week picking Arkansas over Texas A&M, but I like Mizzou. They're actually a good team. Underrated team. Let's move on to 3:30. Let's start with my Virginia Tech Hokies. Coming off back-to-back loss, including the heartbreaker against Miami. They go into the West Coast, a cross-the-country trip from Virginia Tech to Stanford. They play at Stanford on the road. It's 3:30 on the ACC network. Here, so obviously I'm going to go Virginia Tech. They are fired up. This is a pissed-off Virginia Tech team coming off a controversial loss I repeat, a controversial loss to Miami. So I like Virginia Tech. I think they get back to business. I feel like the way they played, coming so close to beating Miami, I think they can compete with anyone. So it's like being 2-3. I think they'll be a contender for the AC. So give me the Hokies. They're going to beat Stanford. They're going to take their frustrations out on them. That is my take on that game. Next, Iowa. The Iowa Hawkeyes travel to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes, so number 2 Ohio State. Will Ohio State be testing this one? We know in Iowa's offensive struggles and history, absolutely, Ohio State will not be tested. Ohio State, big. I got the Buckeyes in a big one. It's not going to be close. Ohio State will win this one. They will not look ahead to Oregon, so they got to go out there and take care of business against the Hawkeyes, which they will. That'll be 3:30 on CBS, that game. Make sure to watch that one, too, along with my Virginia Tech Hokies, along with some other great games, too. Next, Auburn at Georgia. This is an old down south rivalry here in the SEC. So, Auburn come off a tough loss to Oklahoma. Meanwhile, Georgia coming off a loss, too, to Alabama, obviously. So, I think I'm going to go with Georgia. They're more hungry. They're more fired up. How much Auburn should be, but just Georgia coming so close to beating Alabama on the road after almost down by a lot. But I think Georgia is going to roll over Auburn this week. I really think. So I like that one. So give me the Bulldogs this week. Next, you got Ole Miss and South Carolina. A tough road test for Ole Miss after coming off a heartbreaking loss to Kentucky. Losing unranked Kentucky. So now they go into a tough environment like South Carolina. LSU was tested in South Carolina, obviously. South Carolina came so close to being a ranked team. Could they do it this time? The answer is no. I'm going to have to go with Ole Miss, obviously, still. I think Ole Miss is fired up after losing Kentucky. So give me the Rebels. Jackson Dart has got to play a better game. If not, South Carolina will expose them. I'm just telling you, that crowd in South Carolina is tough. That's a tough road test for Ole Miss. Next, Clemson and Florida State. This is a 7 o'clock game on ESPN. This is in Tallahassee. Florida State 1-4 this year, having a very rough season, while Clemson still in the mix for a college football playoff spot since losing to Georgia. They've been on a roll. So, obviously, this is an easy pick. I'm going with Clemson. Florida State's overrated. They've been terrible. 1-4, just god-awful. So, give me the Clemson Tigers in this one to roll in Tallahassee. So, I got that one. Michigan and Washington. This is a national championship rematch. This is in Washington. This is a 7:30 Eastern time game on NBC. A Big Ten game. Of course, now they're Big Ten opponents now. After playing each other in the national championship last year, now they are in this Washington's first year in the Big Ten. So, as much as I want to see Washington get revenge, but Michigan's going to roll. They're a top 10 team. Michigan's still they're ranked number 10 this week, so I got to go with the Michigan Wolverines going into a tough road environment like Seattle. So I like the Wolverines in this one. Next, you got Tennessee and Arkansas. This is Saturday Night Football on ABC at 7:30. Tennessee going into Arkansas. I like Tennessee big in this one. Their quarterback, Steffi Heisman contender, Nico Amilava, he's going to come into Arkansas and just put on a clinic. So give me the Tennessee Volunteers. And last but not least, to finish out the college football picks for this week, let's go with Miami. Yes, those lucky sons of bitches, pretty much won by the referees against my Hokies. Go up into Cal Berkeley, another cross-country trip from Florida to California. So Cal against California. So Cal Berkeley Bears. Of course, Cal, this is their first this game's in College Game Day. This is in Cal, so this is the first time College Game Days ever came to Cal Berkeley. So yeah, that's a big deal for them. Meanwhile, will Miami get lucky again this week? Hell no. I am picking Cal because I'm salty. I'm a salty Virginia Tech fan. That sounds biased. I know I am, but I'm going to go with Cal. And plus, Miami's due for a loss after how they came so close to losing to Virginia Tech. That is a 10:30 Eastern time. It's an after dark game on ESPN. So that after your college picks. Let's do our NFL picks now. Let's talk about last week. I finished pretty strong. Obviously, I won the week in MSP. So I did that. Obviously. So I look pretty good. Yeah, I look pretty good in that one. Let's start with the Thursday night game, like last week, what we saw. Obviously, from the Giants and the Cowboys. A lot of field goals by the Giants, but the Cowboys covered the spread for me, so I won that pick. Dallas got back on track and beat the Giants, obviously, a week ago. That happened. Let's talk about the 1 o'clock game. That Packers-Vikings game. Whoa. Vikings were looking like dominant at the beginning. Then came up. Packers came all the way back. Only lose by 2 points. But the Vikings found a way to win. and I won that pick because the Packers were favored in that one. So I took that. I mean, yeah, I looked pretty good in that one. I had a feeling the Vikings were going to win that one in Lambeau. The Panthers and the Bengals. That was a pretty good game, high scoring wise. But the Bengals covered the spread for me, and they won by double digits in Carolina. Carolina was looking pretty good without Bryce Young. That's Andy Dalton for the starter. They were battling with Bengals for a while, but the Bengals pulled away in the second half. So I won that Sunday game pick as well. Broncos and the Jets. Let's get to the Jets, how fraudulent they looked. I don't care what the weather conditions were. They looked fraudulent against the Broncos. They didn't reach the end zone at all. Aaron Rodgers, his father time is starting to catch up to him a bit. It looks like what we've seen so far. So yeah, the Denver Broncos won 10-9, and I lost that pick. I thought for sure the Jets were going to roll. That happened. Then let's talk about the other game, the Rams and the Bears. I had the Rams winning, but they lost to the Bears. So the Bears kind of surprised me. Their defense looked dominant at the end there, but the main thing is it was kind of back and forth for a while, but the Chicago Bears, I don't know how they won that one, honestly. They kind of pulled with it because of their defense. They won because of their defense. And the Rams were kind of beat up, too. I thought the Rams were going to win that one because they had momentum after beating the 49ers. The Falcons Saints, that came down to the very last play. Younghoe Koo kicks a game-winning field goal, beating the Saints. So the Falcons got a big division win there. That was a big win. Of course, Steelers, Colts, it was a back-and-forth kind of game. Richardson gets hurt for the Colts. Flacco comes in. He looked pretty good, and the Colts got a big win over the Steelers. So Steelers suffered their first defeat of the year. Eagles next. Let's talk about them next. So the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Boy, the Bucs looked dominant over the Eagles. They looked pretty dominant in that one. So I lost that pick. I had Philly. I don't know why I took them. But okay. Texans and Jaguars. Jaguars were so close to getting their first win of the season, but lost. But I won that pick is because I took the points. The Texans were 5.5 favorites against the Jaguars, so I took points. So it was a smart pick by me. Kind of feel good. It's a division game. It's be close. That's what I saw. So the rest of the 1 o'clock games. Let's talk about the 4 o'clock recap here. That Commanders-Cardinals game. Boy, the Commanders look dominant. I picked that one. I got that one right. I looked pretty good in the 4 o'clock games. So yeah, the Commanders look pretty good. Jayden Daniels is for real. He might be offensive rookie of the year the way he keeps playing like this. I mean, seriously. This is a surprise team so far in the early going. But he looks like an offensive rookie of the year nominee the way he played against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. So yeah, very dominant win by the Commanders. That was surprising. I did not see that one coming. And the 49ers, I knew they were going to roll over the Patriots. That was an easy pick. They're going to cover the 10-half right. They just dominated the Patriots. I wasn't shocked at all in that one. In the 425 game, this was kind of a pick'em game. I had the Browns winning, but the Raiders won. What is up with Cleveland? That's all I can say. 1-3, slow start. They got to get it together at some point if they want to be back to being a playoff team like last year. They got to get something going at some point. Of course, the Chiefs came so close to their first defeat, but the Chiefs survived a scare from the Chargers, and I won that pick because the Chiefs did not cover the 7-point spread. So basically, the pool I'm in, it's based on the spreads. So that was a scare. Of course, Rashee Rice suffered a season-ending injury, so Rashee Rice is out for the year. So that's a big blow to the Chiefs' offense. But let's talk about my Bills. What the hell happened last week against the Ravens? Well, I mean, I say that because the Bills' offense just looked, just awful. Josh Allen did not look like the Josh. He made some plays sometimes, but still, that was frustrating to watch. Defense, you knew the defense was going to get exposed because of all the injuries and all. You knew that. That Baltimore offense was good, but just what the hell happened to the offense? That's all I can say. That Bills' offense just. I get it. It's better to struggle now than to struggle late in the season. But they're still their first defeat. They got to get their shit straight. I'll be honest, the Ravens obviously dominated that one. I'll say the Ravens looked pretty dominant. Back to the normal form what we saw a lot last year. So the Ravens, statement win for them on national TV. Give them all the credit. I'm a Bills fan. I'm giving the Ravens a lot of credit. They look pretty dominant. It starts with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry played a hell of a game, including that 87-yard touchdown to start up. So yeah, offense looked pretty dominant for the Ravens. Their defense was all over Josh Allen. So yeah, give a lot of credit to the Baltimore Ravens. Now let's talk about the Monday Night doubleheader. My pick of the week was the Tennessee Titans, which was like, what are you thinking, Instagram? That's everyone thinking like, but I got that right because they dominated the Miami Dolphins. It was a field goal against rival. The Titans pulled away in the second half. Dolphins are in trouble. It's got to be frustrating for Dolphins fans. The expectations. I mean, Tua gets hurt, and now down the third quarter because Skylar Thompson got hurt a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So Titans get their first win of the season by winning in Miami on Monday Night Football. 2 years in a row they've won on Monday Night Football over the Miami Dolphins, the Titans. And the other one, it was a back and forth game for a while. Seahawks Lions, another high scoring game, but the Lions dominated, and that's how I won the week. Because I won my pick of the week and winning the Monday Night game. So yeah, that wraps up last week's game. So let's talk about this week's game, starting with tomorrow night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. Thursday Night Football. This is on Prime Video. The Bucs are 1.5 point underdogs. It's kind of a toss-up here. I mean, it's a NFC South matchup. Both teams coming off big wins. But I'm going to take the Buccaneers. I'm taking the points. And plus, the Bucs are my pick of the week. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Bucs. I like them as my pick of the week. I don't know. They got one of the best offenses in the league. So, yeah. I am 100% going with the Buccaneers in this one. As my pick of the week. Let's talk about the London game. The Vikings are the favorites against the Jets. This is 9:30 a.m. on NFL Network. It's a London game. That's why it's an AM game. So, I think the Vikings will cover the spread. The Vikings are going to... Yeah, that's how I think Jets looked last week. So, give me the Minnesota Vikings in that game. So, yeah. I like the Vikings over the Jets easily because Aaron Rodgers, Father Time starting to catch up to him. And Sam Darnold looking like an MVP candidate. So, give me the Minnesota Vikings in this one. Next, the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. This is a huge matchup here for the Bills because Stephon Diggs' first game since being traded from Buffalo to Houston. So, yeah, Stephon Diggs now against his old team. Diggs, you're just nothing but a diva. And this is why we got rid of your sorry ass. I mean, you can bitch at CJ Stroud all you want now because you're not our problem. We may have had a bad game last week against the Ravens, but hey, Josh Allen's done well with his receivers. We don't need a crybaby diva like Diggs. We don't need him anymore. We don't need you. We don't need you, pal. I'm sorry, we don't need you. And besides, Josh Allen's just as good without you. So, you're damn right I'm going to pick the Bills. Fuck you, Stephon Diggs. And fuck the Houston Texans. I am going with the Buffalo Bills, obviously. Not because I'm a fan, but God, I just think the spread is 3.5. But so yeah. The Panthers and the Bears. It's in Chicago. The spread is 3.5 favored by the Bears. I'm taking the points. I think Carolina at least loses by field goal or wins. I really think it's going to be a lot closer than a 3.5 point spread. It's not going to be a 4-point game. It's going to be like at least a field goal. It's going to come down to it. I don't know why. With these teams, for some reason, it's going to be like a very close game. So I'm taking the Panthers and the points in that one. Next, what do we got here? The Ravens and the Bengals. A big AFC North showdown here. Could the Bengals get back-to-back wins here after a win over the Panthers? No. That Ravens team looks so for real after what they did to the Bills. I am taking the Baltimore Ravens in this one. I think it's not going to be close. Baltimore by a lot. Next, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. Jaguars 0-4. Are they finally going to get their first win? Can they finally get their first win after coming so close last week against the Texans? Now they get the Colts this week. I don't know why. I'm going to take the Jaguars. I really think this is time for their win. I thought they could have had a chance last week, but I really think this time they're going to win this week. You know, the Colts look good without Anthony Richardson, but I don't know. I just think it's time for the Jaguars to get their first win. I really think it's time. It is really time for them to get their first win. So give me the Jags. Next, the Dolphins and the Patriots both are 1-3 teams. A crucial game here for in the AFC division here. Dolphins have lost 3 straight, while the Patriots have lost 3 straight too. After starting at 1-0. I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins. Much as I want to pick the Patriots, I just think the Dolphins look better. I mean, this is kind of a pick-em game. It's like 0.5, 90 points. So, yeah, I really think the Dolphins going to get that offense finally going against the Patriots. This is the game you got to win if you're Miami right now. You got to win this one. It's a must-win one, so I got them. Next, this is a really good matchup, underrated, really good matchup here. You know, Browns are 1-3, but they take a surprisingly 3-1 Washington Commanders team. So Jaden Daniels versus Deshaun Watson, that's gonna be a good quarterback matchup, maybe. But Deshaun Watson's had his lows this year. He's really struggled this year, but I'm really gonna take the Commanders in this one. I like the Washington Commanders. I really do. This team just looks for real. They're not a pretender. I think they'll look good against the Browns. So give me the Commanders in this one. Next up are the 4 o'clock games. An AFC West showdown between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Broncos came off 2 impressive wins against the Buccaneers and, of course, an ugly win against the Jets. Good reason why they won it because of their defense. But Bo Nix got a huge win. But I don't know why. I'm taking Denver this week. Even though the Raiders came off a huge win with the Browns. I don't know. I think Denver's getting something going. I think something's cooking in Denver for some reason. I don't know, Ivan. I really think something's cooking right now. So I like the Broncos, especially because it's at home. It's in Denver. Something's cooking down there in Denver. So yeah, I like them. Next, the Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks fired up after losing to the Monday Night Football. The Lions getting their first loss. Giants are still struggling. So, and this is in Seattle, so it's very simple. I'm taking, obviously, the Seattle Seahawks in this one. So I'm going with Seahawks. Next, 4:25 on CBS as well. It is the Green Bay Packers at the LA Rams. Rams are 1-3, while Packers, this is their second game back with Jordan Love. Jordan Love, almost came back, pulled the comeback. I think they'll lose. I don't know why. So I gotta go with the LA Rams in this one. Fuck the Packers. The reason I'm picking the Rams over the Packers is because I'm a Packers hater. And plus, Matthew Stafford is going to beat his old rivals again. So, there you go. And now the Sunday night game. This is a really good matchup here. Cowboys and Steelers. These two teams have met each other 3 times in the Super Bowl in the past, in the 20th century, last century. Now it's a new century, of course. You know, you got a 5-time Super Bowl champion team in the Cowboys, a 6-time Super Bowl champion. So there's a lot of rings between these two in the past, but that's the past. This is the present. They're struggling to win championship team, especially Dallas. And this is in Pittsburgh. This is prime time in Pittsburgh. Wow, first Sunday night matchup between these two old rivals. So, Justin Fields looked pretty good last week despite the loss. Thing is, they think they're to roll with him still. And the Cowboys found a way to win last week. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're only at home, but I think the Cowboys, these big games, struggle. Especially, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just think that crowd's going to get into Dak Prescott's head. That Pittsburgh crowd's that crowd's me electric. It's going to be tough for Dallas to handle. Maybe I could be wrong, but it might be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but Steelers are going to find a way to prevail. Justin Fields. I got to go with them. I trust Fields over Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's going to find a way to choke against the Steelers. So give me them. And now to wrap up Monday Night Football. It is the New Orleans Saints at the Kansas City Chiefs. Sounds crazy, but I'm going upset. I'm going to go with the Saints over the Chiefs. Since I keep saying the Chiefs are due for a loss. I don't know why. This Saints team is going to surprise people. They looked good at the beginning. But now they've been struggling they've been playing against good teams as well, too, kind of. They dominate over Dallas. I think they're going to bring that mentality they played against the Dallas Cowboys into the Chiefs game. They're going to go into KC and win. I don't know why. I think Kansas City's due for a loss, and it's going to happen on Monday Night Football. So give me the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? And now let's talk about, before we get off the air, I am going to do my WWE picks this week because there's a pay-per-view this weekend. It is a pay-per-view called Bad Blood. This is in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Saturday night. So let's start off with the Women's World Championship match. This is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Of course, part of this, there's kind of a stipulation other than the championship match. Liv Morgan, her boyfriend, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, will be locked in a shark cage up a little up in the ring. So, like, center of the ring, like, up high. So, yeah. So, he will not be interfering in this match. So, I got to go with Rhea Ripley. She is going to be your new Women's World Title. She's going to get her title back. I don't know why. I think Rhea Ripley, this revenge tour for Rhea Ripley is going to begin. She's going to get that title back over Liv Morgan. So, yeah, I like her to win the WWE Women's World Title. So, yeah, I think that's what I think is going to happen in that one. Next, Old Judgment Day members here. Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Finn Balor, obviously, turned on Damian Priest at SummerSlam. and costed Damian Priest his World Heavyweight Championship. And that's why Gunther is the World Heavyweight Champion now. So yeah, Damian Priest wants revenge on Finn Balor, and he's going to get his hands on him. And I'm going to have to go with Damian Priest. As much as I think, if Finn Balor wins, I think it's going to somehow be with some controversy, with some interference. But I like Damian Priest. That man is pissed off. He's on a war path right now. He wants revenge on Finn Balor, and he's damn sure going to get one. Next, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I feel like this is going to be the best match of this pay-per-view. This saga between McIntyre and Punk ends inside Hell in a Cell. Who do I like in this one? CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, I think, have both been in Hell in a Cell. Although, CM Punk has been in... the thing is, CM Punk has been in Hell in a Cell with the Master of Hell in a Cell matches and The Undertaker. So, I got to go with CM Punk. I don't know why. I think Punk really is going to win this one. And he's going to get himself back in the World Heavyweight title picture. I think he's going to back himself in a World Championship picture right there when he beats Drew McIntyre. And end this feud for good. So, I like CM Punk in the Hell in a Cell match. Next, we got another Divas match. Nia Jax versus Bayley for the Women's Championship here. So, of course, Nia Jax, the champ. Is Bayley going to get her championship back? The answer, probably not. I think Nia Jax could probably retain, but maybe not. This one's kind of a toss-up. I like Nia Jax in this one. So, there you go. She'll still retain her Women's Championship. And last but not least, the main event. Something we thought we'd never see. Two rivals teaming up now. Cody Rhodes, the WWE Undisputed Champion, is teaming up with his rival Roman Reigns. So now they're on the same page. They're teaming up in a tag team match against the new formed bloodline between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Of course, with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in the bloodline's corner for that match. So yeah, Roman Reigns in this bloodline, and everyone turned on him. So Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, those two working together, that's a dangerous tag team right there. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will win this one. And I think Roman Reigns will pretty much retain his role as the head of the table and the tribal chief in the WWE. So I like Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in this tag team match. But before we go, let's talk about hockey finally. The NHL season, even though most of it kicks off next week, but the reason why it starts this Friday is because there's a global series in Czechoslovakia, in Prague, The reason why, because my Buffalo Sabres are back for the regular season. They're against the New Jersey Devils. We got our coach back. We got Lindy Ruff. Coming back in his second run with the Buffalo Sabres. Of course, funny thing is, his first game as returning as a Sabre head coach against the team that he just got fired by, the New Jersey Devils. They play each other twice. They play each other Friday at 1 o'clock. They'll be on NHL Network for most people in the United States, but for viewers in New Jersey and Buffalo, you will get it on your local, check your local listings for that one. But yeah, that'll be 1 o'clock Friday. I think the Sabres are going to win both games, or split. Sabres are at least win one of these games. My Buffalo Sabres are going to get back to the playoffs this year. This is a patch of the playoff, ending the playoff drought. So give me the Sabres in that one. Of course, Saturday's game is at 10 a.m. because it's in Europe, On Saturday. So that's weird to have these Friday afternoon and a Saturday morning game. So yeah, that's the reason why it's because overseas. But yep, my Buffalo Sabres are back. I'm happy to have hockey back. We'll talk about more of this next week. Thank you all for tuning in tonight for the new era of Instagram next week. I will make sure to share my screen and show my picks next week. We'll see you all next week. Oh, yeah. Good thing you stopped me there. We got to talk about the ALDS. So, yeah, the ALDS is coming up. Yes, it is. Let's talk about the wild card, how it happened. Detroit Tigers today swept the Astros, advancing to the ALDS to play the Cleveland Guardians. So, congratulations, Detroit Tigers. And pretty much America kind of won by beating the Houston Astros, basically the Astros get eliminated. So, yeah, congratulations to Detroit Tigers, the most improbable team to make the playoffs. Gets in and wins sweeping the wild card series. So, congratulations to the Detroit Tigers. And also, congratulations to the Kansas City Royals for sweeping the Baltimore Orioles. So, now we know that my New York Yankees are taking on the Kansas City Royals this weekend to start the ALDS. So, my Yankees are back, in the playoffs after missing out last year. So, yeah, I think the ALDS... It's going to be a tough one between the Tigers one. I don't know why. I think Detroit is going to keep their playoff run going. I'm going to go with the Tigers in the upset. Better than Fox Sports. Yes. So, yep, I got to go with the Tigers over the Guardians in upset, and I got my New York Yankees beating the Royals. I think it's be Yankees-Tigers, a rematch from the 2012 ALCS. I don't know why. I think Then we see an underdog team and a powerhouse in the ALCS. That is my prediction for the ALDS. I got the Tigers winning in a close series with the Guardians, and the Yankees winning in 4 games over the Royals. And the NL, obviously, we're trying to figure that out. Who I think's gonna win the wild card? I think the Mets. I think the Mets are gonna probably, advance, and I think the Padres and Braves will at least go to Game 3. Maybe I could be wrong, but I don't know. Oh, of course, anytime for my viewers. But yeah, so those are my predictions for the ALDS, and of course the NLDS. Dodgers. Absolutely, my predictions are great. So yeah, I'm thankful everyone got to see this tonight. I'll promise next week I will share my screen and show my picks for sure next week. So thank you all for tuning in next week. Go Sabres, go Bills, and go Yankees. And go Virginia Tech. See you all, and God bless. See you all next week.